Alright, what you see here is a Hampton Bay Alchemy ceiling fan. It's a 52-inch ceiling fan that was sold in the late 90s at Home Depot under the Hampton Bay name. Though this is, in a sense, a relabeled Minka Air ceiling fan. I forget the model name, but um, someone might comment that in the bottom on the comment section. This is in the eggshell, or the not the eggshell, the shell white finish. So it's basically an off-white finish, and I got this for free off of a group on Facebook. It's not Marketplace, but basically it's a group in the city that I live in that posts stuff for free, and I found this along with a brushed nickel Hampton Bay Huntington 3. It's more so interested in this, but I figured I'd grab that one as well. But it was I honestly went more so to get this fan. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting design that it has. And it's definitely a powerful fan compared to other fans from Hampton Bay. This one is from March of 2001. Let me turn. It looks like it's an air-cooled tank, but it's actually a Alaska Shenyang made ceiling fan, as it does have an Alaska skeletal looking motor inside. Now this fan, like I said, I really do like the look of it, especially with the white. It's definitely very late 90s, early 2000s and such, and I really do like stuff from that era. It reminds me a lot of stuff from when I was a kid. But yeah, something I'm noticing with this one is I've noticed like pictures of them that like the one that Charles asked did a video of it, that it was like had like an upper portion up here that's not on this one. I'm not sure if that's just because that one's an earlier version. His is from the year 2000, and this one's from 2001. Might have just been like a extra piece you put on top of like a bottom low like cover for it or something like that. But I'm not complaining. It doesn't really, you don't really notice it. But it's definitely an interesting fan. I really do like it. And it's definitely a powerhouse. It has a 188 by 15 millimeter motor, so it's definitely a powerful fan. The build quality on this fan is very good as well. It doesn't use flimsy parts or anything. But yeah, this was part of the Pinnacle line. Some other models that they sold under that name was the Cameron 2 and the Cameron 2 Plus. The Reddington 2, this, and I think the Patriot was in that line as well. No, I haven't seen a box of it, but I'm pretty sure that was another one. But it was more so the performance fans they had to be sold at the time that would be under the Pinnacle name. So like, yeah, all of those would have like a 188 motor and such. And they sold them with that box style up until like 2001, I'd say. You know, for that being said, I feel this actually could be one of the last Alchemies that were ever made, because I'm pretty sure I know that this was the year that they were discontinued, because I do not remember ever seeing this on display at Home Depot as a kid. So 2001 was like the year that they basically were discontinued. You never did see these in the Home Depot catalogs, and I'm not sure when they first started being sold, but they are pretty hard to come by and such. I think they were only sold for like maybe 3, like 4, maybe like 3 to 2 years or something like that. I'm not too sure. But it's definitely a nice relic of the late 90s, early 2000s. It's time and ceiling fans that I feel doesn't get enough representation or acknowledgement or and such. So yeah, these are 3 tiny light bulbs. Came with these LED ones, which I'm glad because sometimes with the candelabra bulbs, in the heat it can produce, it can be a bit strong for it. But yeah. And there it is, the white. Let me show off the whites behind me and give it a lighting test. It also gives off a good lighting. I definitely would consider this like a living room install, kitchen, bedroom in terms of like the lighting and such. But yeah, it definitely is a nice fan. I really do like how it looks. I know there's one that's at the restore at where we find 88 volunteers that's been there for a while. Funny thing is, I was actually going to go and buy that one, and then I found this one. So, yeah. But, yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start this on low. There we go. I just want to make sure it was on the low speed. Just because with the way the pull chains pull, it's kind of at a strange angle. I will say that it's a pretty fast low speed, to be honest. I remember when Chandru did a video of his that he felt that it would benefit from having a 4-speed twin. I definitely can agree. Definitely, it's a bit of a fast low. No, honestly, I feel like if I was to install this anywhere, it'd probably be in the kitchen. As with the off-white finish, I wouldn't really be worried about it getting yellowed and such. And it definitely will get off good amount of lighting. I wouldn't mind putting this in a bedroom too, not in like my own bedroom, but I feel like a kitchen would be a good spot for something like this. But yeah, I know that like around March each year they would always like discontinue fans and come out with new ones. I remember specifically it was always March 11th that they'd come out with the new catalogs for the fans at the time, back when they still made them and such. Although at the same time, they never did actually show every single fan that they were selling in the catalogs. They definitely did leave quite a few out, which is why there's so many that many people don't even know about. I feel like there was quite a few of them that were online only at the time too. That they weren't even in the special order catalog, so that's another thing. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit of a breeze from it over here on the low speed. Underneath it, it's not like it's anything. It's not super strong of a little like of a breeze for the low speed, which is a good thing in my opinion. But it's definitely something that you can feel. It's not like a very gentle one. It's definitely moving a breeze though. Well, something I definitely would love to find is a Reddington 2 because although they look just like the Reddington 3, they actually have a larger motor. So I definitely would love to see how they perform. And I do know that from what I've heard that they actually perform pretty good. So definitely be interesting to see how, like, if it's similar to this or not. In some ways, it kind of reminds me of the Hunter Millennium with the motor housing and such. All right, now to move it up to medium. Now I know it's not high speed, but it's definitely going fast for medium and such. Reason why I know it's not high speed, 'cause I already ran it on high just to see how it did before doing the video. But yeah, it definitely has a very fast medium speed. And it has a little bit of wobble as well, I'm noticing on medium. At the same time, usually a fan, if it's going to wobble, it's usually always on the medium speed. Well, that it wobbles the most and such. Yeah, I'm just realizing it's actually been quite some time that I actually filmed Hampton Bay ceiling fan. The last one that went public was the Gazebo Plus in the carbon patina finish. And that one was filmed a lot before, like way before that one even was published. I was like filmed like the previous year. So, I mean, that was the most recent one that I had go public, but I forget what was the last one I tested before this. I figured if I'm going to bring back some of the Hampton Bay fans in terms of testing, I might as well do a very uncommon one, which is this. I know there's some that people have requested for me to do videos of soon, like the carriage house in white and brass, the air-cooled Chatham. Those I do have ready, like lined up to get tested. Is just some of them I need to find the parts for it and such, or they just need a little bit of work done before I can test them. But they're definitely going to get tested really soon, so it's definitely stay tuned for that. It's definitely a good breeze on medium. It's like the high speed usually you'd feel from most fans. Well, heck, most fans don't even move this much on high speed, to be honest. Like more of the cheaper ones, that is. I mean, the fan does have a 13-degree blade pitch, so that definitely helps, and the blades are pretty wide. Yeah, from what I could tell, this fan was like installed in like some sort of an office room, not like an actual bedroom, but it was just an office room that they used. So that does lead me to believe that the fan wasn't used all that much. Well, not that it wasn't used much, just not like used heavily. Like, so it is definitely in really good shape for its age. Especially because the house is literally right next to the ocean too, so that's another reason that I feel like that they took really good care of it. But yeah, let me go ahead and move it up to the high speed. And this fan definitely cranks a ton of air on the high speed. And it does fly on the high speed as well. Now, the amount of air I'm feeling from it over here is insane. Like, honestly, like, the performance of this blows, like, any show, not any show, any home center fan. So today, like, none of them definitely, really doubt that any of them perform as well as this. And when I say that, I mean, like, the really well-made ones that are actually, not the really well-made ones, but like the ones that are actually good performers today, like the Windward 4, although that one definitely, I've tested, I know that doesn't even move anything near this. Not sure if it, I know the Windward 2 moves a lot of air too, but I say this is like on par with like the Windward 2 in terms of like other Hampton Bay fans, the like comparison. Like, it's definitely on par with like showroom fans and such. Like, it definitely outperforms like the basic Hunter fans you'd buy during the time period. Like, Passport 3 just definitely outperforms that. The 90s Hunters, like anything with like an Air Max motor, just definitely outperforms it. Definitely doesn't, honestly, does not outperform an original, but it definitely outperforms like a very, very good majority of the Spinal Motor Hunter fans. Knowing Fiat, it's like probably like I can't think of any other one that doesn't outperform, but aside from the original, but the thing definitely cranks. Like, I'm really impressed with how much this moves. Like, it's almost K55 air movement. It's not exactly K55, but I definitely can say it outperforms even the Spinal Motor Hunters that have like the 188 motors in them. The ones that I have tested, it just definitely outperforms it. Yeah, I gotta say, this thing, like, the air movement's just insane on this fan, considering that's just like, that's from Hampton Bay. Like, honestly, like, this fan moves enough air that I would honestly consider installing it somewhere for like the performance out of it and such. Like, it really does a good job. Like, it outperforms the Infinity that I have in the living room. It outperforms the low profile plus I have in the kitchen. Like, I'd put this in there now, in all honesty. The only issue is this one doesn't really have the option to be flush mounted, and I definitely wouldn't want this to hang too low in the kitchen, since that's the entry area that we use. But like, this is definitely a fan I I honestly would consider installing just for how one, I like the look of it, and also it really does a great job with the air movement. I'm sure of the light. Not 100% sure if it does move more air than the windward too, but they do both have a different blade style, so that is kind of hard to gauge. And it has been a while since I tested both of them that I have. Yeah, I'm honestly like very impressed with it. I mean, I've heard that these are good air movers, this and the Patriot, but I mean, along with the Cameron 2s, I already have tested those, so I do know how those perform. But I mean, this definitely does outperform the Cameron 2. Although I haven't tested the Cameron 2 52 inches down here on a down rod, so I definitely should get around to doing that. Alright, let me shut it off and do spin down. I'm waiting for it to spin down completely, then I'll reverse it because I don't want to accidentally hit the blade arm and then affect the spin down. But yeah, one thing I'll say is if you find one of these for a good price, get it. Like, it's honestly a fan I definitely recommend if you can find one. And if not, if you don't like, if it's not your style or anything, definitely get it to like resell, turn on a collector or something. I do know there's quite a few people out there that are looking for these and such. But yeah, it's definitely a very powerful fan. Like, it's honestly hard to believe that Home Depot actually sold something of this quality back in the day under like the Hampton Bay name. It's definitely a shame though that they don't really have anything that's as good of a performer like this anymore. Like, after they got rid of the Cameron 2s, the Windward 2 especially, that was like the last one that they had that was actually a good performer. And not to say that they didn't have any good performers after that, but like, when I mean good performance, I mean like really, really good performance, like showroom level performance. But like, yeah, this thing is honestly like pretty on par with like K55 movement almost. Alright, gas out PM air movements. Definitely, like, it's pretty close to like something you'd feel from like a stack motor fan. That's the best way to put it. Heck, I might actually have to see if that next time I go to the restore where WeFire 88 is to see how much that Alchemy over there is. I honestly really would not mind having two of these. Definitely would be a fan that I wouldn't mind doing like a dual install with. for the reverse. Actually, does seem to have a little bit of a bearing noise I'm noticing. But I mean, the fan was literally installed next to the ocean. Well, the house is right next to the ocean, so I wouldn't be surprised if like some of the air from like the salty air kind of might have got through the motor a little bit. But it still performs very well. Now for medium. Surprisingly, the wobble is about the same on reverse as it is on downdraft. All right, now for reverse high. Now, just from over here on reverse, I'm feeling a ton of air from it as well. Honestly, I think I might have to get the other one at that restore just for how like good of a performer this is. Like this definitely will cool down a large room without a problem. Yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.